So the Omega brand, one of the real powerhouses of Swiss luxury watches, a brand that's one of the biggest in the world, has a tremendous heritage and history to do with space exploration, the Olympics, official Olympics timekeeper since 1938. So we're going to be talking about some great product with our expert Dave here. A couple of Seamasters, a 1948, the Seamaster 300. We'll also be talking about the Speedmaster, the Apollo 8, Dark Side of the Moon. Some great stuff. So get us going with a 1948 Seamaster, Dave.
Yeah, it blew me away, the Omega selection this year, because the attention to detail was fantastic. I'm going to start off with the 1948, which is their showstopper. This year is the 70th anniversary of the Seamaster. Back in the Second World War, Omega supplied 110,000 watches to the British Ministry of Defence. And then in peacetime in 1948, that's when people were starting to buy the Seamaster. Here we have this particular execution, which is a 38mm. They've done two. This is the first one. It's a 38mm stainless steel. It's got their movement 8806. And you'll notice that the actual blue strap on this is a sturgeon strap. So it's in homage to the Royal Air Force and also to the Navy. In fact, on the case back of the two watches, you've got laser engraving of a Chris Craft boat and also I think it's a Gloucester Meteor aircraft, which is actually the first jet plane that the RAF used. Oh. So those are engraved on the back. This model retails at £4,550. There's also another model which has a slightly different dial configuration. The previous model had a centre seconds. This one is the sub-seconds. Now this is a slightly different movement. This is the 8804 movement. It's priced at £4,950. This comes on a vintage strap, and also both watches come with a corresponding vintage box with a spare NATO strap and a strap changing tool as well. These are a classic. They're limited to 1,948 pieces. We're looking forward to receiving these at the end of September, so autumn time. But these were the showstopper for Omega.
And the 38mm, great size. More and more guys moving slightly down in dial size. 38mm is perfect.
Absolutely. You know, one of the trends that we noticed from Basel Fair this year has been more conservative sizes, and this will tick the boxes because it's a classic looking watch and a great size.
And then moving on, a lot of new Seamaster 300, fantastic range.
Launched in 1993. The original held the record for the deepest freshwater dive, which was in Lake Neuchâtel, which went down to 80 metres back in 1993. In 1995, it became James Bond watch of choice in GoldenEye. And here we have the 2018 edition, which some of the new features are, you'll notice, Brian, it's got a ceramic bezel now. It's got a Ceragold insert into the bezel, so it's actually the white enamelling onto the bezel so that it's greater legibility. The indices on the dial are raised, so those are clearer to see with greater luminosity. You've got the wave effect on the dial, which is an homage back to the 1993 version. The helium escape valve at the 10 o'clock there, even if you left that open underwater, it's still water resistant to 300 metres. It's got a new case size at 42mm. And on top of all of that, they celebrate it with a new master chronometer movement, which is their caliber 8800 movement. So you're getting some great new technical features, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that they've got a new clasp facility, a new clasp adjustment facility, which is called their rack and pusher system. So it's easier to
put over a wetsuit,
which is what you need here at Basel, where it's pouring with rain outside. So yeah, and you know, this is coming in at the end of September. It's £3,600 in this particular execution. They also had a great model as well, which was rose gold on blue. We know blue is very much in vogue this year. That's £4,800. And they also do a bicolour version of this, bicolour bracelet, bicolour Ceragold inlay into the bezel as well. Looks beautiful, £7,200.
Yep, I mean, we all thought the whole range of what they're doing with Seamaster 300 was really stunning. everything you could look for aesthetically with a great heritage and great technical watch.
Agreed.
So the next thing we're going to talk about, really fabulous watch. We all loved it. We love the heritage that Omega has with the moon landings, with the whole Apollo program. And this one was a celebration of Apollo 8.
Yes. And when I talk about Omega have really gone big with attention to detail, this typifies exactly what I mean. This is the Speedmaster Apollo 8 Dark Side of the Moon. It's one of the best looking watches I saw at the fair.
Yep.
It's got a black ceramic case, 44mm case size. It's got a skeletonized movement. Now, the interesting thing about this watch is, when you see the front of the watch, it's like looking at the scales of the moon as we see the moon.
Yep.
When you reverse the watch, you actually see a darker side of the moon, which is what the astronauts see. On the case back, it's actually got the words engraved, "I'll see you on the other side," which is exactly what Jim Lovell said in the 1968 Apollo mission when they was taking the journey to the far side of the moon. So all these little attention to details have been taken into consideration in the making of this watch. It comes out in September. It's £7,200. Even the little touches of the yellow is the colour of speed.
Yep.
The white pronounced superluminova on the dial, carbon fibre around the edging of the case. It's a beautiful watch, and I'm really excited about this watch.
I can tell, Dave. I mean, watches get you excited generally, and this one's really got you going. But tremendous attention to detail, also reflecting the original. I think it's a manual wind.
Correct.
Which again they had to do because of the magnetism and so on at the time. But the heritage of Omega with Apollo moon landings and how they can represent it in the aesthetics. Just
absolutely. Their DNA, is demonstrated in this watch.
And the blue Speedmaster that we saw of a very similar
Yeah,
design.
they did a blue ceramic Dark Side of the Moon, which was beautiful. And that comes out in autumn also. That's £10,150. The key thing here is you've got to see the dial. It's a blue zirconium dial, but it's when they showed us the watch, Steve was going, we put a bit of the night sky into the dial. Yep. But it looks fantastic. It really does look good. So you've got to see it. See this one up close.
Yep. So we loved the presentation by Omega. A lot there for everybody: value, innovation, heritage, marketing, technical development, you name it. So fantastic range. Thanks, Dave, and do join us as we review some of the other brands from Baselworld 2018.